I, 26 male, am completely devastated, and this easily became the longest week I've ever had. Every day at work, 13 hours, my mind is spinning and trying to understand what she, 24 female, told me. We spoke on Monday through the phone. I am at work and will be till Saturday as I work far away and work long hours every day on a 12 to 9 days rotation. I just started this job 6 weeks ago, and I'm still spinning. I blacked out as soon as she told me and can barely remember the 30 minutes long, mostly one-way conversation. I could not speak. Background. We decided about 1 year ago that we wanted to try for a baby, and at first, we had sex every day trying to get her pregnant. She was feeling a bit depressed, nothing was happening. Her doctor had told her it could be difficult for her to get pregnant due to some bad cycle or something I don't really remember anymore. I tried to comfort her. We kept trying and I felt like everything was great all things considered. Around April/May we succeeded and are due in December. We were both excited. I might have a hard time showing it, but I really am excited and can't wait. At this point we're on cloud 9. We were so much in love and everything was great. This weekend I came home from work, because we don't work Sundays, and the dishwasher was broken and we decided that we should just get a new one. She would go on Monday and get it while I'm at work, and get the husband of her friend to help her install it, though I initially told her to ask for a price to have the shop do it for us instead. This turned out a bit steep, so she texted me and we had a short mundane conversation about this. This quickly turned into her asking me to call her. I said I couldn't as there isn't any good coverage where I work. She really needed to talk to me. I feared some problem with the dog or worse, the fetus. So I told her I would get to a different spot for my break. Come break time I call her and she asks me if I'm doing okay. I was having a great Monday and told her. I ask her how she's doing, and she says not so good and she has a confession. Apparently, she and this guy she met on an online gaming platform had been exchanging photos. I was breaking down. I could feel my stomach turn and I wanted to throw up my sandwich. I can't remember much after this, but what I do remember is me asking her how many pictures, praying she'd say, I don't even know. Her response was, many. No number. Just many. She told me that it had ended once she learned she was pregnant. I couldn't ask her anything more at this point as I just wanted to die. I dread the answers to the questions I have to ask her when I get home. So now I have no idea what to do. If it wasn't for the pregnancy I'd never look back at her, but we've already included our parents so much into this. My parents are past 60 now and none of my brothers got anything going to get children anytime soon. I don't want to have to tell them I can't bring their only grandchild over for dinner whenever they invite me. I don't have the heart to disappoint my mother like this. I've rarely seen my mother cry through my childhood or my adult life, but when we first told them about the baby, she broke down in tears and was so excited she couldn't keep her mouth shut, and told every relative from here to Timbuktu, we were fine with this. What is hurting me so much worse about this is how her parents split up due to her father who left mother-in-law for a woman at his work, and this basically destroyed her childhood. My fiancée has been swearing for our entire relationship she would never bring a child through what she had to go through. Her last relationship also ended due to infidelity. I just don't understand how she could do this. Just a week and a half ago we had a dispute over money, as normal couples do, and she brought me over to the refrigerator and pointed at the ultrasound pictures we had just gotten of our son and said, "Look at this boy. This child deserves parents who don't fight all the time." This actually got to me and had me feeling terrible. How could she let us keep trying to conceive when this was happening? Ugh. I don't even want to go home anymore. I don't want to stay at work. I just want to wake up from this nightmare. I've read a lot of threads here and taken a lot of advice about how to try to get through this. I understand it's going to be a long road with a lot of tears. I already messaged her today saying how I will be making demands to her about things I'll have to do to gain her trust again, and how she'll have to leave with them for as long as it takes to heal. She was fine with this. Therapy is a given. I've also read about the fact that I have to get to know everything about the infidelity so I'm not left wondering, and this I struggle with. I don't feel like I want to know anything about what happened, but my mind is taking me to places I don't want to go. I know I'll have to get the full truth, even though I don't want it. I want advice on what else I should do and what she should do. Sorry for the ungodly long text. It's my first time making a thread that's not asking for help with a stupid video game. Flared for advice, but I need just as much support because I'm really low right now. My 36 male wife, 31 female, is pregnant with another man's baby after a break and wants to keep it. I don't. What should we do? We've been together for 14 years. Married for 10. Before our relationship, we hadn't had lots of previous relationships each, and in this last year, we started to have loads of issues and decided to go on a break in January, just to take the time to maybe appreciate each other for a bit and see what life's like on our own, and maybe see other people if we decided to. On our break, we both were okay with us both experimenting and being with other people, and I've had a fling and I knew she did too. So a few weeks back, with the current issues and before we had lockdown here, we decided to move back together and carry on with our relationship. Now, as soon as we moved back in together we talked about our experience with other people. I'd been with someone casually, definitely with protection, and she'd had a one-night stand with a guy. However, in her situation, she was super drunk and was sick, so she thinks she threw it back up, and it's one of those if you don't take it at the right time every day, you could get pregnant. So she has an STI test, clear, and a pregnancy test, positive. We're child-free, or at least I thought we were, and always had an agreement that if we ever had an accident we'd have a termination. The baby is definitely not mine. Absolutely not possible. So she had a termination scheduled for last Thursday. She came to me on the day and said she just couldn't go through with it. She wants to keep the baby. Now I freak out. I've told her we've always been child-free and definitely I don't want kids still. I don't want to raise another man's kid. She's apologized to me for being so stupid but is saying she is 100% sure. I've been trying so hard to convince her she shouldn't keep it but she's just not having it. She said we can raise the kid as our own. I'm not having it. It would be had enough if she had a kid of mine, but at least I could accept that it'd be my kid if that happened. This kid will be another man's. Nothing to do with me? What the hell do I do? I know the sensible answer is to walk away and cut your losses, but it's not that easy. I love her and we've been in each other's lives for so long. Plus we're in the middle of quarantine and she's got nowhere to go. I'd feel horrible kicking a pregnant woman out to fend for herself at a time like this. But I don't want a kid. Ever. Not even if it was my own. I have been sitting in my garden drinking vodka all afternoon, so I'm pretty wasted. Ha ha. Update. Okay. So we're looking at getting a divorce. I've spoken to a solicitor, have got my options, and have started the process. So it's actually going to happen. I'm getting divorced. I got lots of amazing advice, but the overwhelming was that I shouldn't be forced to raise a child that isn't mine, or try to get someone to have an abortion. To be honest, I knew that deep down. I just didn't want to admit it and was scared about facing the fact that our relationship was already damaged and this was the straw that broke the camel's back. The one moment where I snapped and made me start the process was Monday. We had more or less confirmed we were going to divorce but hadn't started anything at that point yet. She tried to initiate sex. That was it for me. That was my cue, I was done. Like, we're talking about a divorce, ending our marriage, and you want to jump. Massive argument and led to me actually asking her for the divorce. After we calmed down, we both agreed this is the best course of action and she is equally as committed as I am to getting a divorce and agrees it's for the best. We're obviously freaking gutted. We still love each other so much, but this is too big a thing. I am 100% sure I'm never having kids. Looking into finally having a vasectomy after this whole lockdown goes away. And she is 100% sure she wants this kid. Which I can't get my head around still. And she says she can't believe it either how much her mind has changed, especially as she was so sure about being child-free. She says it's like something has just changed in her and she can't fight it. I think it's BS, but there you go. We found the guy who knocked her up on social media. She's messaged him and they're now talking about what to do and making plans for it. I don't know what they're talking about and I don't give a crap honestly. Probably scans, money, names, etc. As long as they keep me out of it. Do I say good luck? He looks so young though. And his username where I found him has 97 in it, so I think he's only 22 or 23. Don't get me started on that one. So, God knows what the future holds. For now, she's staying here in a separate room until we work out where she goes, but is likely to move in with her half-sister as the lockdown situation changes. The house is mine. I inherited it and she agrees as such. Whether she'll be that way after getting a solicitor remains to be seen, but I have the paperwork and as it was before we were married, so I understand she doesn't have much of a chance. And I'm not letting her have the dog. She'll have a nice shiny new kid to walk away with, and won't have the time to look after a senior dog and a kid. I'll fight for these two things tooth and nail. I'm angry, hurt, sad, and weirdly relieved it's out in the open now. Like I can start chapter 2. My wife and I have a 5-year-old boy. My son is my favorite person in the world. We've been married for 8 years but have known each other for 25 years. Dating for 3 years prior to marriage. I know the baby isn't mine. We have not had sex in a while. She would make up an excuse or push me away for whatever reason she had at the time, and many of those reasons were believable. I had my suspicions for a while. She slept with a good friend of ours, who as of a few weeks ago was no longer our friend. I never did get a good answer as to why. Until 2 days ago. She doesn't work and is a stay-at-home mom. I work a lot and pay all of the bills. We own our home outright. 2 nights ago, she dropped this bombshell on me when I got home from work. She was crying and calling herself a bad person, etc. Then she said she was sorry for hurting my feelings, as opposed to, sorry I cheated. She said she has not told anyone, not even our friend, the father, only her sister. We made an agreement that she would terminate it and go to counseling. I was awash with emotions I have never felt before, but I thought to myself, maybe this could be a new beginning for us. To preface the next paragraph, I've always wanted a second child. According to her, her doctor told her she could not have any more kids. I was not at that appointment and trusted what my wife told me. I had no reason to not trust her at this point. This was 2 years ago. I know now that this was BS. I've also been tested and I was fertile. Last night she came to me with a knife and asked me to kill our son because that is what I was asking her to do. She then tried to blame me for her infidelity, which I know is BS. She then started calling her pregnancy a miracle. This was an entire world of crazy from her that I have never seen before. Maybe I was just naive. She wants to keep the baby now and I've told her I want a divorce. I am very uncomfortable with the thought I won't be able to read my son's bedtime stories every night now. And do the things we do every day together. And I'm not comfortable with my wife meeting someone new and my son calling him daddy. Because we are in California. I know I am screwed when it comes to divorce and child custody, and that isn't helping things. I cannot afford a lawyer, let alone a good one. I have done nothing wrong here. I've been telling myself that since D-Day. I get to go home and deal with this mess in a few hours. I don't want to see her or talk to her. I just want to see my son. I'm sorry if this seems all jumbled up, but I can't really think straight right now. I'm sorry if I do not seem sensational in my writing. All the emotions I have been feeling have taken a toll on me. Some details will be changed to protect my family's identity. My wife, 23 female, and I, 25 male, have been together for nearly 6 years off and on and got married a few months ago. We were going through a rough patch a little over a year ago and she cheated on me. A few weeks after, she was very distant and attempted to break up with me. I prodded for more details and she admitted to cheating and she felt unworthy of a relationship with me. She explained that at a party she got very drunk and hooked up with a friend. I was very hurt and devastated, but I understood that people make mistakes and she is an extreme lightweight. She said it was only one time and that she was really drunk. I rationalized it all to her being taken advantage of. So I forgave her. A month later we found out she was pregnant. I knew that there was a probability that the child was not mine. But we were not using protection before and after the cheating. We were intending on having a kid at some point. So I was very happy about a child regardless if he or she had my blood or not. So we went through the pregnancy and my child was born. I decided to sign the affidavit of parentage and not have a paternity test taken because I didn't want to know if the child was mine or not. We got married several months later. It wasn't until last week that my wife told me that the man she cheated with has been asking for a paternity test. She had been trying to ignore the situation, hoping that it would go away in time. I had not told anyone about it, and my wife and I pretty much dropped the issue after the day she first told me. I asked for more details and she informed me that they had met twice. Once after the party and once after that, before she admitted to me. So it was not a drunken mistake at least one of the times. I do not have any reason to believe that she has cheated before or after the incident. She has not drunk any alcohol after the pregnancy and is completely dedicated to our family. I do not want this man in our lives. He represents a lot of hurt for us and I do not want my child involved in that. What I need advice for is: 1. If I take a paternity test at a hospital or some lab and end up not being the father, will they send the results to the Bureau of Vital Statistics and strip me of being the father on the birth certificate? 2. If the issue does go to court and I am not the biological father, what are my odds at being named the psychological father? 3. I just need relationship advice in general. My wife is great and my child is amazing, but we are undergoing so much stress trying to progress in life and this looming over our heads. Thank you for reading about my problems.